Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and this part is specifically inclusive for the World Youth Forum, which took place from the 3rd till the 6th of November. It took place in the city of Sharm el-Sheikh with the participation of more than 5,000 young men and young women from all over the world under the auspices and with the participation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And one specific event of the World Youth Forum was the Model Arab African Summit. The MAS was a 2-day regional summit that took place and took part of the World Youth Forum in Sharm el-Sheikh. It followed on the recommendations resulted from the first version of the World Youth Forum in 2017, as well as the African Union simulations recommendations held in May of 2018. To be speaking more about this event of the World Youth Forum, we're honored to be having with us today on Nile Cruise Mr. Hazem Osama, the Arab League Secretary General in the Model Arab African Summit at the World Youth Forum, Mr. Abdurrahman Bella, the representative of Sierra Leone in the Model of the Arab African Summit, and Ahmed Ali Hassan and Ahmed Shawqi, participants at the World Youth Forum. Thank you very much for being with us today on Nile Cruise.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to start with Hazem and Abdurrahman. How you were chosen for the African Summit, the Model African Summit?
It's very easy. Actually, you apply through the online platform that was published by the World Youth Forum organizers, and I just applied for it very easily. And you have to apply, like you have to submit a paper or something like that that has to do with the topic that we'll be discussing in the summit. You have to apply. You have to upload your CV as well. Plus some like normal information, and then you will be selected by the phone. By the phone, I was contacted by one of the organizers. I have to go through some interviews, and I finished one and the second and the third interview, and then you have to go through a specific process, and it was easy, and it wasn't that big deal. Yeah.
And for you, Abdurrahman?
Yeah, it's almost the same. You apply online, then they ask you to submit a research paper and your CV. Then you go through lots of scrutiny and, of course, including another training before ever you will be approved. So this is all about it.
Yes, Ahmed, is this the first time to be participating at the World Youth Forum? This is the second version in Sharm el-Sheikh.
I wanted to participate in the first edition last year, but I couldn't make it because I had my graduation project. So this year I was super motivated to attend this amazing event which took place on the land of magical beauty in Sharm el-Sheikh. So I applied online on the website of the World Youth Forum, and after 2 weeks I had the acceptance mail, and every single update was sent to me on a short message on the mobile and on the mail.
So Ahmed, this is the first time for you to be attending the World Youth Forum.
Yes.
How did it feel like?
It's a really good experience. We met lots of different cultures there, and we networked with everyone. The sessions were really beneficial for everyone. For example, for the entrepreneurship and for the how to build future leaders. I think it was really beneficial for everyone.
Okay, if we also talk about the Model Arab African Summit, what are the important issues that you tackled during this forum? And this is for you and Abdurrahman.
So the title of the summit was the prospects of cooperation between the Arab and the African states. So I think that was the main issue that we were all discussing. So depending on the organization that you was representing or the state that you are representing, you have to talk about the role of the country in the prospects of cooperation and the role of the organization. For me, I was representing the Secretary General of the Arab League, so I was discussing the role of the Arab League in enriching and boosting the Arab-African cooperation. So that was mainly the thing. So we have been through some pressing issues that is facing both the Arab and the African countries. The same for security issues, for mainly security issues and economic issues as well.
Well, actually, for me, in the first place, I was logging for, an ordinary attendee, but after having looked at the program itself, which is Arab-African integration, I was sure moved to participate, to be one of the members, because I like cooperation so much. And I was actually looking at the way the Arabs and the African countries, the black Africans, can cooperate together especially for the developed countries and the underdeveloped countries, how they can assist each other and build a better integration, more especially in the school areas and in the educational areas. I think that will be, a founding stone, for the Arab-African integration. So I was actually moved to present these ideas, in front to my fellow youths, that indeed we need to concentrate on the education to help youths educate and have schools outside there. Not only, for example, we see the Western countries like having a lot of universities here. So Egypt can do the same thing, going out there in Africa, building universities for the youth. The Arab countries can do the same. And even if the African countries have the upper hand, also can do the same, come to the Arab world and make schools, build a better integration, better understanding each other. I think this will curb a lot of problems, a lot of, radicalization that youth are undergoing. It will curb down that one. If we have that intimate integration between Arab and Africans.
Yes, the cooperation with Africa was one of the main events, one of the main topics that were held and discussed during the World Youth Forum sessions. Africa, the Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. How did you see such a session? What about the ideas that were discussed?
This session was amazing because, first of all, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended this session. He honored the grandson of Nelson Mandela, first of all. Also, in this session, we discussed several problems that the African countries are facing nowadays. Moreover, there were several recommendations done after this session. First of all, there would be the Young Africans Entrepreneurs event, which will take place annually in this event of the World Youth Forum. Second, Egypt, especially, to say that Aswan will be the capital of the African youth. Moreover,
2019.
Yes, exactly. Moreover, we should encourage the role of volunteerism in Africa because it's one continent. It's Mama Africa.
Yes, and for Ahmed, another session was about the social media and the fear of missing out, the FOMO, with the attendance of President Assisi. How do you see the importance of this session and
the digital world?
What was discussed
world.
during the session?
Okay, so we had lots of influencers there. They talked about how the digital world was in the real world, and how it influenced everyone, and how social media contributed to everyone, and how everyone contributes to social media. And there was some influencers like Jeffram Jafari and other influencers there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Hazem and Abdurrahman, what are the experiences that you gained during your participation in this Model Arab African Summit?
For me, I think it was a great experience. Like, first of all, for any participant in this model of the Arab African Summit, they had the chance to get to know a lot of people from all over the world, not all over the world actually, from the African and the Arab states. For me, I've never met a lot of people from African states especially, so that for me was a very good opportunity. That's first of all. Second of all, you had the opportunity to be talking to the people, and you feel like you are addressing something, a pressing issue, and a pressing challenge. You are addressing it, you are trying to propose some solutions for it. It's a great opportunity for people in our ages to be doing something like that. The third thing for me, personally, I suggested something in my speech that the Arab League is suggesting to establish a fund, an Arab African fund, to help the countries post-conflict periods, of course for the Arab and African countries in the post-conflict periods, and that proposal was adopted in the final recommendation, the final recommendations that were issued by the World Youth Forum. So that for me was a very good step, and I was so proud of something like that. Fourth of all, I had the chance to be speaking to people from all over the African and Arab states and discussing this, this whole topic, which is the prospects of cooperation, which is not an easy thing, and a lot of people have been discussing that in the Arab and African countries. So it was a great experience for me. Yeah.
Well, actually, the WIF, which is the World Youth Forum, and all its events was actually an amazing, experience. It gives an amazing experience to all participants. More especially meeting with people from different backgrounds, sharing ideas, discussing things in common. I think this is a great experience. So we just hope our leaders will foster this kind of, you know, initiative for the future, because it's actually, from what I gained, I think it will bring up an integration that will keep up the respect for each other, and there are so many things, the youths and the countries themselves, the people of the various countries themselves will benefit. Let's take, for instance, we are looking, for example, opening of borders. I think Africa is trying to open up borders within each other. So this kind of integration will actually motivate that particular initiative, and we hope the coming year to come, we hope to see the leaders, the African leaders, to embark on this very seriously, to open up the borders within Africa, and see ourselves as one people. The stronger countries in economy should assist the weaker countries to come up, and more especially also expanding the aviation, the aviation routes. For instance, we have in Egypt so many flights, but they very little they go to the sub-Saharan Africans. But if they open up to those sub-Saharan Africans, they will know much about Egypt. They will know much about the Arab world. This is what actually we are looking for.
Yes, as most of the young men and the young women who participated in the World Youth Forum, they did know a lot about Egypt. In your opinion, what did you learn about the other countries, about the 5,000 youth or young men and women who participated at the World Youth Forum? What did you learn from that experience?
In the World Youth Forum, the second edition this year, I made new friends from different countries, from different continents. I found several flags, colorful flags especially. We talked about different issues. Moreover, we had some debates and some discussions in the freedom area, especially in a place called the Word Cafe. We had our discussions about several topics, about sports, about media, about everything. We also made contact with each other on social media platforms. We taught each other some expressions or terminologies in different languages, English, French, Spanish, Italian. Moreover, I enjoyed the word youth theater, which showed that the word is full of talents. These talents were like Ayub's sisters, the two girls who played violin. There was a band who played the national anthem of Burundi. It was magical. Moreover, there was a play by the famous director Khaled Galal. It showed us that several talents from different countries performed an amazing play in front of the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. And the word youth theater, it was presented by the stand-up comedian, the Korean star Won Chung. So it was an amazing experience, actually.
Yes, culturally, Ahmed, how did this experience add to you, the World Youth Forum, and as Ahmed said, inaugurating the World Youth Theater as well?
So, okay. So different cultures there. We had lots of places from Europe and Asia and stuff. People from Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Russia, people from Spain and Colombia and stuff. Everyone was talking about their different cultures and how their dress and everything. People from Africa also. So the way people talked about their different cultures were so magical, because everyone has their different way of talking and their different dresses and stuff. So as I used to be in my university also in England, we used to share different cultures with each other in order to know everything about other countries.
Okay, Hazem and Abdurrahman, and let me start with Abdurrahman first. After participating in this Model Arab African Summit, from your point of view, how can we enhance the cooperation between the Arabs and Africa?
Well, that takes me back from where I start. That one of the ways that we can enhance this and make it more integrated is to open up, the Arab leaders, the Arab countries should be ready to go out there, to go to the sub-Saharan Africa and help the youths. There are a lot of youths out there, they need education, So we are looking up to the Arab countries to go out there to the sub-Saharan Africa and assist the youths in giving them the education. Let there be universities, let there be Arab universities, let there be Egyptian universities out there, that will help people know much about the Arab world. Despite the language being teaching there is maybe in English or whatever, but this will help the integration between the Arab and the Africans, and also let there be open borders between the Arabs and the Africans. Like for Sierra Leone, we are looking forward to a more integrated, more bilateral relationship between Egypt and Sierra Leone. We would like to see, even in the future, in the coming future, we would like to see aviation schedules from Egypt to Sierra Leone, so that the people of Sierra Leone will know much about Egypt. It will be very easy for them to travel to Egypt, come and see the beautiful places, the pyramids, and so on. This is what we are actually looking for. I think this will help, build up the relationship between the Arabs and the Africans.
So I think that there are a lot of different aspects that the African and the Arab states can cooperate in. So mainly for the political aspect, they can cooperate in different agendas, mainly the Palestinian issue. The African and the Arab states combined, they can formulate a very big bloc actually in the United Nations, so that they can pose a good voting blocks that can push for the agendas and push for the good resolutions that will work for the favor of the Palestinians. That's first of all. Second of all, they can cooperate in the security issues as well. They can address the terrorism challenge in a more effective way, in a more collaborative way. Third of all, the economic. There is a huge opportunity. There are a lot of economic opportunities for both the African and the Arab states, in which they can invest a lot of money. So if we are talking about numbers, like the Arab states, they have the capital. The African countries, they have the good material. They have the good raw material, so that they can invest a lot in the African companies, and that will be for the welfare of both the African and the Arab countries. Socially speaking, they can work in more of organizing more of these forums, or more of the conferences that can work for the favor of the youth in both the African and the Arab countries. I think there are huge opportunities for in every aspect, politically, security speaking, economic and socially. So, yeah.
Yes, Ahmed and Ahmed, in less than 30 seconds, what are the messages for the rest of the young men and young women all over the world who could be participating in the upcoming version of the World Youth Forum in 2019?
First of all, I would like to thank the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the PLP people, PLP, which stands for the Presidential Leadership Program people. And I would like to thank the Egyptian government, the policemen, who secured the place 100%. It was perfect. It encouraged the domestic tourism in Egypt. For example, during the conference, we had the opportunity to visit some places such as Dahab, Ras Mohammed, and several places. It was an amazing experience. Until this moment, I text my friends from different countries. This improved my improvisation skills, my presentation skills while talking to different cultures. So I would like to advise everyone to apply for the next year and never miss this chance.
Yes, and Ahmed?
I would also encourage all my friends back where I was in university, everyone to apply to the World Youth Forum 2019, and to encourage everyone to come and visit Egypt. And you're all welcome to come. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to thank Hazem, Abdurrahman, Ahmed, and welcome to our show. And I guess, Ahmed, also we came to the end of our episode today.
Yes, thank you very much. And this brings us to the end of Nile Cruise for today. Don't forget to follow us on